To our friends that are here today, we want to thank you for joining us at this Memorial Day observance. It conveys to Americans the price and pain experienced by so many in the quest of freedom. It is a day to honor the dead who served their country and what service and sacrifice means to America. And we certainly are pleased to see all the young people here today, and hopefully from this you will have some memories and some understanding of the importance of this kind of an observation today. At this point in time, I would like to introduce a young captain whose dad is going to be our main speaker. This is David Piggott. He's a graduate of West Point. So I'd like to have him place the flowers on the representative grave that represents all the veterans in the town of Rush. Thank you, David. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce to you our speaker for today, who is a Rush boy that grew up here in town, went to college, went to law school, became a judge, Eugene Piggott, judge of the appellate court. Gene? We'll also hear from his son, David.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all very much. To give you a little bit of background, I have 7 brothers and sisters, many of them still in this area. I myself went to Rush Henrietta schools. I even started in the Rush School District down here. My law school career was interrupted by the Vietnam War, and I served 2 years in the Army, one of them in Vietnam. And when I was preparing remarks for today, I couldn't help but think, before you right now are 3 generations of people who have served in the military. Bill, as you all know, served honorably and indeed gallantly, Silver Star winner in World War II. And in talking to Bill about his experience, but the experience of this town, over 130 men left this little town, this little village, to serve in World War II to fight the Germans and the Japanese. At that time, to give you some semblance, some idea of how the military has changed, we had 133 million people in this country. 16 million men and women were in uniform to fight in that war, more than 13% of our population. When Vietnam came around, there were 200 million of us. At the height of the war, there was no more than 580,000 in the United States Army. In the war that Bill fought in, over 400,000 young men and women gave their lives for this country. In my war, we lost 58,000. I think of some of them. My brother John served in Vietnam as a Marine with Wally Saunders from Rush. There was a number of them that went. We lost Wally way too soon. He didn't die in Vietnam, but many of us think that what he experienced and what he went through there certainly made his life much more difficult once he returned. And those things stay with you as you, for some reason, are allowed to go forward while they find their resting place far too soon. My son David, whom you just met, has served 2 tours in Iraq, winning a Bronze Star each time because of the battles that are being fought there. So in that war, we have with 300 million people, we have only about 500,000 men in the military, in the Army. And we've lost 4,000 of them in Iraq and in Afghanistan. So you can see that as time has gone on, we've seemed to have diminished in terms of solid numbers that fight that fight in our wars and that keep our country safe. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If we can have people who lead their lives outside of the military, that's great. But what's really touching to me is that you're here, that you took time out of your lives, out of your day, this day, and I know this isn't the only one, to remember the people that we honor here today, the ones that lost their lives in these wars and in the Korean War and the other wars as well. And I always think of you when I think of this, because you don't have to do this. You took the time to come here to remember all of these people who have done so much for us. The commitment that they had, the willingness that they had to lay down their lives, and believe me, the ones that I knew, they never intended to do that. I mean, they all expected to be home. And yet they went, they knew the dangers that were there, they knew the perils, and they were more than willing to put their lives on the line for us, for the freedom and the enjoyment of life that we have. And so, as I like to say to people, the best way you can honor them after today, and it is truly a great tribute to each and every one of them that you're here today, is to live your lives. Enjoy your lives. Think about what you have. Think about what this country means. Think about what this country has done, not only for itself, but for countries worldwide, for people worldwide. And you have a right to celebrate that, and you have a right to take full credit for what this country is, what this country has, and what this country does, not only here, but around the globe. And I would now like to introduce the third generation of soldier that we have here today, my son, Captain David Piggott.
Now, my dad mentioned that we have a dwindling number, a smaller percentage of our population serving today than ever before. But I want to tell you that it's still the best. And we're working every day to live up to the standards set by my father's generation and Bill's generation. In this new type of war, everyone has an impact on the battlefield. From the highest general to the lowest private, every soldier has the power to make a difference, and every soldier is making a difference. The last thing that I want to do while I'm up here today is thank you again for coming out. As this drags on year after year, and I watch my friends and classmates deploy over and over again, it becomes harder to get up for that next deployment. It becomes harder to motivate yourself and your soldiers to go do that next mission, until we're reminded of the fact that people like you, everyone back home, is coming out to things like this and supporting us and supporting everything that we're doing. So on behalf of all the soldiers that I've led, the classmates that I've graduated with, and everyone who's serving today in these wars with this generation, thank you for coming out. Thank you for your support. God bless the United States.
Thank you very much. We're very blessed to have two speakers of the caliber we had today. And I hope that they've left a message with us all as to what this day really means, and carry it on for the rest of your lives. Ready? Aim. Fire. Ready? Aim.